Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren.
Good afternoon, ladies and
Nina Scheer ist
gentlemen.
mein
My
Name.
name is
Ich bin
Nina
hier
Scheer.
als ehrenamtlicher
I'm
Vorstand
here
der
to
Hermann-Scheer-Stiftung,
represent
einer
the
ganz jungen
trustees of
Stiftung.
the
Ich möchte aber
Hermann-Scheer
ganz kurz
Foundation, which
in
has only been set up
Bezugnahme
fairly
auf
recently.
meine
But
Vorrednerin
if I may, let me just come
einen
back to what the previous
Anknüpfungspunkt
speaker has
bilden,
just had to
der
say,
mit meiner hauptberuflichen Tätigkeit
because this
zusammenhängt. Ich
has
bin
to do with
Geschäftsführerin
my
von
main activity.
Unternehmensgrün.
I
Das ist
am
eben
a
ein
managing director of
Verband
investment
von
management
Unternehmern,
Grün.
der
That's
sich
an
dafür
association
einsetzt,
of
Rahmenbedingungen
entrepreneurs
zu schaffen, die die
which set
ökologische
itself the
Wirtschaft
task of
gewährleisten.
providing a
Also diese
framework to be
Punkte,
useful for
die der
ecological
Entwicklung sind,
business
das ist eben
activities.
auch
So
eine Zielverfolgung dieses Zusammenschlusses von
this is an
Unternehmen.
objective
Wir haben
of
auch öfter
this
mal
loose
mit der
association
GLS-Bank
of
schon
companies.
gemeinsame
We've worked
Projekte
together with the GLS Bank on
Geschäftsführer
various
der Wirtschaft
projects when
wir
it
sind für
came
uns
to
ein
environmental
gutes
business
Bündnis, denke
ethics.
ich.
So I think we've got a good network going
Aber
there.
nun zurück zu meiner
But to come
Tätigkeit,
back
Funktion
to
als
my
Vorstand
function
der
here as
Hermann-Scheer-Stiftung.
member of the Board of Trustees of the
Hermann Scheer
Hermann-Scheer
war
Foundation.
ein Politiker,
Hermann-Scheer
junger
was
Mann war,
a
er ist gestorben im
politician.
letzten
I said
Oktober.
was, he died last October.
Und er hat als Politiker weltweit eine ganz
And
wichtige Sache vorangeschoben,
he was responsible on a
nämlich die
global level
erneuerbaren
for
Energien
pushing
zu einem
ahead with the
wahrnehmbaren,
cause of renewable
Alternative
energies to make sure that it was perceived as being a viable alternative to fossil
sodass wir tatsächlich
sources of
heute
power, so
in
that
einem
today
schlüssigeren Jargon von der
we
Energiewende
now
sprechen,
can talk
als wir
about
das
an
vielleicht
energy
ohne seinen
revolution and
getan
can do
hätten.
so
Ganz
perhaps
konkret,
more easily now than we could have
er
done
hat
a few years
maßgeblich
ago.
das
Specifically, he was responsible for drawing up the Renewable Energy Sources Act here in Germany. He was its architect, basically. And this act is responsible for an 18% share of renewable energy sources in gross power consumption, and that in turn serves as a role model for many other countries throughout the world. The argument which is often used is, okay, what do we get out of it if something's been done in Germany? After all, this is a global challenge to which we need to rise, and that means not just creating global approaches, but also making sure that regional and national approaches can adopt as well to fit into the overall global context and to provide role models for others to follow and get things going as well. Because we've seen that renewable energy sources are not just a source of protection for the environment and as such an economic factor in their own right. There is also the aspect of the scarcity of resources which comes into play as well, which is going to have tremendous financial impact on us in the period ahead.
Nichtsdestotrotz ist es natürlich auch eine umweltpolitische und
Of course, this is an environmental and climate-based response that needs to be adopted here, and this is what has happened.
Den maßgeblichen Pfad, auf dem wir uns für ein friedvolles Zusammenleben auf der Welt auch
We think this is a contribution to maintaining peace throughout the world. Let me quote a passage from Hermann-Scheer at this point. He said that the rapid and comprehensive introduction of renewable energy sources today provides a guarantee that tomorrow we'll have an environmentally friendly, safe and low-cost energy supply for everybody. And I think this really puts everything together here. The economic component is involved, the ethical aspect is involved as too, because the misery that goes hand in hand with the use of fossil energies and the negative impact on the environment does not stop at our national borders. It has to do with the overall decline in society. Therefore, it's very important to have this interconnection. This is something which is promoted by the foundation, the work that it does. The purpose of our foundation is to promote the protection of the environment and the climate. It also has to do with education. We need to educate people about what needs to be done. Also has to do with international understanding. Here we pick up again on the issue of renewable energy sources, and they're passing on the knowledge about them to other people. And these are some of the aspects which together make up the overall purpose of the foundation. And in this connection, we want to continue Hermann-Scheer's life's work by doing this work in the foundation that bears his name.
Bezug nehmen, die Umsetzungsebenen der Stiftung
Now, let me just refer briefly to the work of implementation that the Foundation has done. I can't go into too much, I don't have the time available, but there again, the Foundation itself is only comparatively of recent founding. Hermann-Scheer died in last autumn after all, and the Foundation was founded and recognized in December of 2010, and we're currently in the process of getting the initial projects up and running. There, of course, is a political dimension to be taken into account here. We need to push ahead and step up our work to bring about the further introduction of renewable energy sources. But perhaps I can just refer to a brief example here to make things perhaps more tangible and illustrative for you. This is a project that we've just got involved in now. You're probably familiar with the motorway A7 in Germany. It's the longest motorway that we have in Germany. It stretches from the north to the south of the country. And my father, Hermann-Scheer, drew up a plan. It was finished, ready at the end of 2009, and it was presented by Eurosolar at that time. This project, well, the concept is the energy avenue A7, the motorway that is, the A7 motorway. Now his idea was that wind turbines should be put up on either side of the motorway to avoid any further interventions in the landscape, in addition to those that you had to build the motorway anyway, and other renewable energy technology can be installed along the motorway, and this together would have been a beacon project for renewable energies. It's a major project, and of course this is what is interesting, that would then function on a local basis, and this decentrality is a key issue that Hermann-Scheer focused upon in his work on behalf of renewable energy sources and incorporated in the Renewable Energy Sources Act. I think this is really the hub for the revolutionary change in energy supply that we are experiencing now, and we're pushing ahead with on into the future. We need to have energy justice put in place. So I think this is a very, very interesting concept that we want to pursue at the function by means of an internet platform where information can be gathered about the ideas behind the project and how it is implemented on a step-by-step basis. The website, the platform is currently in progress. It will be up and running probably next week. But that's just one example I want to refer to illustrate our focus on renewable energy sources, what Hermann-Scheer has done to that end. Thank you very much.